For my initial review of Dehancer film emulation plugin for Final Cut Pro, back in July 2023, as a Nikon user, I encouraged its developers to add profiles for Nikon cameras, because though the app included profiles for many other cameras, not so for Nikon. Before I continue, for the uninitiated, here's a little bit about this kind of software. These plugins are designed to achieve cinematic effects right down to the flicker, date weave, scratches, and film grain associated with analog movies shot on film. More on the latter later. My first experience, for instance, had been with Motion VFX's Film Look plugin for Final Cut Pro. I'm glad I grabbed it before they switched to the subscription model. Then, Dehancer approached me to try out their comprehensive film emulation software. I tried it out and reviewed it on this channel. At the time, and since, I found things that I liked and some things that I don't. And now, 2 years later, there's something new worth reporting. If you're a Nikon user in particular, stay tuned. Hi, Ray here with an update on Dehancer Film Emulation plugin. As I say, I use the Final Cut Pro version, but it's also available for DaVinci Resolve and Adobe Premiere video editing applications, and also Adobe After Effects, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Lightroom, and Capture One Pro. What sets Dehancer apart really is the inclusion of over 60 photographic, movie, print film, and paper simulations. And then there's all the other effects associated with cinefilm, like halation, bloom, and a ton of other stuff which I tested in my original review. I'll add a list in a sidebar. You can choose presets designed after various film resolutions or customize each parameter. Just a quick note on Dehancer's film grain effect. I don't generally use it, maybe because during the decades I shot on film, I tried to minimize grain unless I was using it for effect, and I'm still the same way. Dehancer's grain emulation has been recognized as the most natural implementation, however, and when I use it, I definitely do so sparingly. Okay, fellow Nikon camera users, here's the news, in case you haven't gathered from the title and intro. Dehancer has finally added new camera profiles for Nikon Z6 III, Nikon Z8, and Nikon Z9. Not too soon. What this means is when you begin editing, you can specify your Nikon camera, assuming you own one of the three added as a starting point. Before now, Nikon wasn't even in the drop-down. There are options for Sony, Fuji, Blackmagic, Canon, Panasonic, and Red cameras, among others. So, the default option was generic REC 709, more on that in a second. And that was okay, but now we can access specific profiles created by the Dehancer team. And, most importantly, you can shoot in LAW, choose the format, and Dehancer converts the footage to REC 709. So what this means, if you're not familiar with the lingo, LAW footage captures more color, information, and dynamic range. Initially, it appears as washed out, very flat, before conversion to the more limited color range of REC 709, which is commonly used for displays and delivery. So the LAW data is automatically compressed into a format suitable for editing and viewing. And now we have that in Dehancer, the aforementioned three cameras and Nikon and LAW. So again, we can choose the vendor, Nikon, individual camera, hopefully they'll add more, and N-Log format. Incidentally, Nikon just improved their Image Assist view that appears on the LCD. We now have the red REC 2020 to REC 709 conversion LUTs as well. Much more in that department, but I'll save that for another time. Meanwhile, these additions to Dehancer will definitely encourage me to use it more than I have been to date, including to make this short film. What hasn't changed, and it's something that I've been meaning to comment on since I made the initial review, is something I don't like about Dehancer, the complexity of updating the app. Updates have to be downloaded and installed rather than just updated from within the app. Major updates are installed as a new plugin, leaving the old one in place, and you have to activate a new license. These profiles were easy enough to download, so I don't know why updates can't be simply triggered from within the installed version. From my experience, everything has to be done in just the right order, or things go haywire. I have to say it's not an absolute deal breaker, and I have to say that support has been responsive. I've complained again at the same time as thanking them for these belated additions, and my contact has passed my suggestion on to the development team. I should also mention that this plugin is a resource hog. Clips will usually need to be rendered to set them to play smoothly. No surprise that project rendering times will be longer. Even my powerful Mac Studio has to work harder. Put that together with noise reduction you may use with log footage, and you may have time for more than one coffee break. There's plenty of stuff in here, including exposure and temperature controls, film compression, as well as exposure tools. Dehancer Pro is available as a subscription or as a lifetime purchase. It's not cheap, $549 US right now, which is $150 more than it was 2 years ago. However, I can help you out with a 10% discount using the code ParkerPits at checkout. So, just this quick alert for existing or prospective users of this video tool, let me know in the comments if you use or would be interested in using something like this. If you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up, and if this is your first visit to my channel, please do consider subscribing. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss more content from me. In the meantime, take care, cheers, we'll see you later.